1 year on the YT Decoy, loads of fun, loads of upgrades. So why sell it? Riders, welcome back to Sam's Bikes, where we talk e-bikes and only e-bikes. On this episode, we're talking 1 year on the YT Decoy, loads of upgrade, loads of fun, and my final thoughts and why am I selling her. So let's get into it. So as you all know, I bought the Decoy on the 13th of June 2019. I bought the base model, 4,600 euros. And a lot of you asked, why not just buy the Pro Race, because I've done all these upgrades. Look, for me, I was interested to see the real world difference between a low spec bike and a top spec bike. And I learned so much along the way, and obviously I made lots of cool videos of the upgrades. So I'm going to talk you through all the upgrades, how much they cost, and if they were worth it. Right, just before I get into it, I just want to say a massive shout out to everyone that's been following the channel. We've had massive growth, and also I have paid for everything on this bike, apart from the tires that Schwarby gave me last week, and they're amazing tires. So the first upgrade I made pretty much a week after buying the Decoy was the Shimano XT 4-piston brakes. For me, they were a great upgrade because I don't get on very well with the SRAM codes. Look, I love the on-off power of the Shimano, and the codes are kind of like spongy. I really love that I can tether the brakes, I can sit on the brakes, and I can have that friction point ready when I need it. So I really rate that upgrade. Number 2, DEATHGRIPS. Look, this is a super basic upgrade. I love the DEATHGRIPS, and these grips make me feel like I'm riding a motorbike. So definitely, if you haven't tried them, get some. All Mountain XL frame protector. Look, I installed this probably about 3 weeks after I bought the bike. I did think about going the Invisa wrap, but it was a lot more expensive and it was a day to install. I've been very happy with the frame protector. It doesn't protect everything, but my frame's a year old and it's in very good condition. Number 4, RENTHAL FATBARS Carbon. For me, I love RENTHAL bars. I put them on all my bikes. I like to feel the same sort of sweep and rise on each bike. So definitely not a necessary upgrade, but for me, I love it. Number 5, 30mm Industry 9 stem. Look, for me, I love a short stem. 30-35mm is perfect. I just find the bike is faster in and out of corners. Maybe it's in my mind, but I really like a short stem. And the Industry 9 is an amazing stem, and let's be honest, we all want something Industry 9 on our bike, and this was the only thing I could afford. Number 6, LYRIK upgrade kit and a DEBON Air 180 air spring. Look, for me, you know that I went 27 front and back, so I lifted the suspension to 180, and I decided to upgrade the charger at the same time. There's a video up here, check it out if you want to know how to do it. It's pretty easy. For me, for 300 euros, it's definitely a worthwhile upgrade. A load of people have asked me how it is and if it's worth it. Look, for me, the best way to explain it is if you've ridden 2-piston brakes, you think they're amazing until you go to 4-piston brakes. The original YARI is actually a very good fork. The main thing I noticed was the initial third of the stroke. So when you're riding and you know, the first part, so that small bump sensitivity, I just noticed that it's much more plush. To be honest, I didn't think it was going to be worth doing it, but at the same time I was opening the forks up and putting the 180mm spring, I did it. And look, definitely worth it. Your hands will be buying you beers all day long, because at the end of a ride, that small bump sensitivity is where all the pressure in your hands comes. So definitely a worthwhile investment. Number 7, Maxxis Minyan 2.5 double down DHF tires. The best thing I've done for this bike is take the 2.8 tire off and throw it in the bin. That EXO casing tire lasts me about 50 Ks. Really, there had no business being on that bike. You need a thick tire for this bike, and I decided to go for a 2.5. The difference between a 2.5 and a 2.8, the bike just tracks better when it gets really rocky and rowdy. And I found with the 2.8, well, one, it got loads of punches when it got rocky and rowdy, and two, the bike would just like bounce around, like I was getting rebound off the rock. With the 2.5, now with the 2.6 with the eddy currents, the bike is just far more precise. Like I can really push that bike into the corners and really know where that back end's gonna be. So definitely, if you've got the Decoy, definitely try a 2.5 or a 2.6. Number 8, Shimano E8000 XT cranks. Look, the original cranks that came on the Decoy, the base model, are rubbish. I bent those in about a week. And look, I rode them for another couple of months bent because, you know, when you have bent cranks, you kind of get used to it. But then I hit a massive rock and I ripped the pedal clean out of the cranks. Look, you definitely need to upgrade these cranks to the XT. And the XT are good, but I'm not blown away by the XT. My prediction is Shimano is gonna release an E-specific lineup of products, maybe the E-Saints this year or early next year, and I'll be getting those cranks because the XT are good, but they're still not that burly for what we're doing. Number 9, Hope Pro 4 hubs with DT Swiss Freeride 560 rims. Look, the last thing I was gonna do on this bike was build a nice, strong pair of wheels. And look, I did loads of research, annoyed everyone on the forums, but I picked an epic set of wheels. These come in at 1950 grams and they are bulletproof. You know, what I thought I was gonna get out of those wheels when I bought them was confidence hitting really rowdy stuff. You know, I get worried about folding a wheel when I'm jumping. And look, I get all that from those wheels, but also, it's hard to explain, but when I'm cutting in and out of corners, there's just zero flex that comes out of those wheels. And it just gives you like more confidence pushing into the bike in and out of corners. So I definitely rate these wheels. And at 560 euros, they're a bargain for the, I would say dollar for dollar or euro for euro, these are the best budget e-mountain bike wheels on the market. The only thing on the bike I haven't paid for is the tires, the Eddy Currents from Schwabe. Look, these tires are awesome. They're the first E-specific tire, and I did my full review up here last week, check it out. I really enjoyed these tires. The best thing about the tires is the gravity casing and the fact that you can drop that tire pressure all the way down. Right now I'm down to 17 at the front and 21 at the back, which is unheard of on a Minyan. Sam Hill Enduro pedals. Look, I love Sam Hill, we've got the same name. He's a mental rider and they say flat pedals win medals. And look, I decided this year I'm gonna go back to flats. I wanna play around more on the bike. I'm not a racer. I just wanna jump, manual, have fun on the bike. And the Sam Hill pedals at 95 euros, it's a little bit expensive, but you know, if they're good enough for Sam Hill, they're good enough for me. I've had them a month now and I really like them. They've got loads of traction. If you pair them up with a good pair of shoes, they are amazing. A little bit worried about slipping a pedal because they've got some monster pins on them, but loving those pedals, definitely worth it. And lucky last, number 12, the X2 Float from Fox. This was the last upgrade because I've been looking for this shock for a bargain for over 6 months. It's a super expensive shock. You're talking 800–900 euros. So I found it on Black Friday in America at Commensal USA. I found it for 500 euros. I actually had to have it shipped to my mate's house in Hawaii. Shout out to you, Brett, you're a legend. And then Brett sent it on to Australia, and then I took it back from Australia to Spain. It's now on my bike. So it was a whole bunch of rigmarole, but to be honest, it's amazing. What I love about this shock is the fact that, you know, these bikes are 25 kilos. I think it's really important to have that adjustability. So when you have the high speed and low speed rebound and the high speed and the low speed compression, it does take a lot to set this suspension up. I'm still working on it. In my initial impressions of the shock, it's definitely worth the upgrade. And also another thing, I like an air spring over a coil. I like to change that suspension around depending on where I'm riding. So definitely the X2 is an expensive but worthwhile upgrade. So that's it for the upgrades. As you can see, I've pretty much upgraded everything. The total price for the upgrades was 6,623 euros. I know you're gonna say, hey Sam, that's the same price as the Pro Race. I know it is, but if you ask me, I will take my bike any day of the week over a pro race. Not a massive fan of carbon wheels, and as you know, the pro race comes with E13 carbon wheels. Not a fan of E13 either. So for me, I would say how this bike's set up, I'm far happier doing this. And also, I learned the difference between the base model bike and the pro model bike. Look, I would say the base to the pro race, I would say like 60–70% of the people are gonna be super happy with the base model. And then if you're the type of person that likes tweaking your suspension and you're really pushing that bike, then the pro race out of the box, if you don't like customizing things, is probably a better buy. But I'm super happy with my bike, and I learned so much from the upgrades, and I made lots of videos, and hopefully you guys learned a lot too. And so they're all the upgrades, and after close to 365 days on the Decoy, what is my final thoughts of the bike? Look, I've had an amazing time on the Decoy. It's a great all-round bike, probably a bit more downhill, enduro orientated, but I've done some epic cross-country rides, some epic enduro, downhill, done it all. A great all-round e-bike. The things I haven't liked so much about the bike is the specific battery from YT. As you all know, I went to Australia for 3 months, which ended up being 4 months, and I couldn't take the Decoy with me because I couldn't get an extra battery. That was probably the worst thing about the bike, and also a water bottle holder. I think now, knowing more about e-bikes, I think that water bottle holder is quite important because you do a lot of 2 to 3 hour rides that actually 500 mils of water would be perfect, so you don't have to take that backpack. All in all, great bike, definitely can recommend it. And if you have any questions about the Decoy, obviously you know you can ask me. So now you're probably thinking, why sell it, Sam? You're saying so many great things about it. Look, all good things have to come to an end. And it's been a great time on the Decoy, but you know I run the YouTube channel, and look, I want to keep it interesting. I've done all the videos I possibly can on the Decoy, so now it's time to try something new. And right now is such an exciting time in the e-mountain bike industry. There's so many good bikes to try. Look, I'm thinking about the Canyon Spectral, the Specialized SL, the Commensal SX, Propane Icano. Look, there's so many good bikes. I'm not going to tell you which one I'm going on next. Don't know yet, I'm still trying to work it out, but I will definitely have a new bike soon. Right as the Decoy is for sale, I will be accepting offers over 4,000 euros. I'm happy to ship it all around Europe, and hit me up on Instagram or on Facebook if you have any questions about the bike. Well, riders, that's for me this week. I hope you enjoyed the video. As you know, any questions, I answer everyone. And if you haven't, subscribe, like, share the channel. It really means a lot. And stay safe out there, and I'll see you next time.